Hello and welcome to Stampscaping 101 Stamp Along. This is going to be an easy version of this more extensive composition of basically the Seaside Cove stamped on the rainbow holographic sticker paper. It's this kind of textured one, but you can use pretty much any of the holographic printable vinyls, okay? And they really accept inks very well. But I'm just really, I don't know, I guess enchanted, or I don't know what the word would be, to find out what the Seaside Cove looks like on this sticker paper like that. I think it gives it a really great shimmer. I've tried this before on silver stock and it worked really well, but the printable vinyl holographic sticker paper looks really awesome with it. Okay, now this one I thought it would be a little bit of a faster version, but I had to use a lot of technique on this back plain matte paper to create those clouds. So we're going to remove a lot of those types of, I don't know, kind of method techniques and just kind of make this almost a impression and construction style of formatting here, okay? Without having to do too many techniques like the rip paper towel cloud technique or something like that. It'll look a little bit more basic, I think, but I think it'll look good still, in that we have a lot of the different types of elements still within this piece. Okay, so I'm stamping this out on the sticker paper, and then after I do that, we're going to color it, or maybe not color it, but highlight it, and then we'll cut it out and apply it to our lower base area of our horizon card. Okay, now I'm using the Brilliance black pigment ink. That works really well on this type of paper. It's, I don't know, vinyl, I guess. And it dries really fast, but you can use just about anything. I probably wouldn't advise a dye-based ink, a Memento or something like that, but that'll work on here. But just test and see how dark it is on there. You might be better off using a little bit of a thicker style of ink, a VersaFine or something like that. But test it. Not all of these papers, I'm guessing they're not all completely the same, and they're supposed to be designed for a water-based type of ink, because this printable aspect of the sticker paper is based on your inkjet inks, which are, I was surprised to find out they were water-based, but anyway. Okay, so I'm cutting this out. You can color it first, or you can cut it out. Okay, now this bottom section, I'm just going along to the contours of the wave, the lowest wave area. Now we're not using this whole thing because the width of our card is 6 inches. So I'm going with a 4x6 type of formatting, by the way. You'll see the listing of everything used down below in the description area. Okay, so now that has been cut out. Okay, now see, the width of it is going to be like that. Oh, that's almost like exactly. So I'm glad that it does fit. I thought this stamp was a little bit wider. It is a little bit wider, okay, but it looks like we'll be using up most of it, which is good. Okay, so that's going to be positioned right up there, okay. 4x6 wood grain paper, 4x6 piece of blue foil. Okay, now, one of the things about this piece right here, I haven't used these types of metallics usually for this type of open design, meaning there's not a lot of solid areas in here. There's areas that are a little darker underneath the waves because you can't see the image too well, okay? But This white pastel pencil works amazing on here. I never would have thought, a soft style of pencil. This isn't a white colored pencil, but it's a white pastel pencil. This works phenomenal on here, okay? So I'm coloring in my waves, and you'll see how fast this is to apply. And where you apply it is just right over the darker areas, because the darker areas represent kind of the area under the cresting waves, or the kind of that spin drift coming off of the top of the crest of the wave. So let's see that right there? See, the shadows are down here, so you just apply this right over the top of it. Okay, so see, here's a line right here, and a line right here. And I'm just going to go right alongside the top of it. So don't go into the, the darker area, but just apply this right over the top of that shadow area. So it's kind of like applying kind of like streaks in here, except down here where you have a lot of the wave. Okay, now if you're using a slightly, slower drying ink, i.e. a VersaVine Clair or something like that, then just allow a little bit more time for it to dry, because that's going to be an oil-based ink. Okay, mine is a fast drying water-based ink, and that dries really fast on here. And the reason I'm saying that is you might start coloring on here. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm blurring my imagery. Well, it's not dry yet. Let it set up a little bit longer. But you can try your, or you can do a StazOn, something like that. That's going to dry instantly. When you're using StazOn, though, be careful, because this can, when you're making your impression, that StazOn dries so fast, and sometimes it like this sticks to the stamp, and you also have to peel it off. It feels like you're kind of ripping at the vinyl. So what you do with that is you kind of ink up your StazOn, and then you can kind of make your impression, but then lift it off soon after. Don't have it sit on the surface for too long. All right, so you see that? It's a little bit more three-dimensional that way, because I've highlighted all these other areas in here. I'm not even going to shade it. My first inclination when trying this out this past Friday on here was to add shadows underneath, but I thought it looked okay without the shadows, and plus I don't have a black pastel pencil, so I don't know if that would work or not. Now, this doesn't absolutely stick to this, but it sticks pretty well on there. You can see I just dabbed over that, and it didn't remove all of my pastel pencils, so it's grabbing the surface reasonably well. Okay, it's not like permanent. You can give it a little bit of a spray seal, a shot of spray sealant or something like that. You can use hairspray in a pinch, just to lock this down, a little bit more. Okay, lightening up some of that, just adding a little bit more to it. Okay, now what this is going to be, what we're going to do with this, we're going to apply it on top of here. Okay, but what we're going to do first is we're going to stamp out our little baby sea turtles. I have them, they're kind of moving off in this direction. So I do it on the left-hand side of the paper. Not that stamping it over here is wrong, but it's kind of moving them off in that direction. And I like to have them going in this, kind of moving, I don't know, into the composition. Now I'm just using the same Brilliance black. It works really well on this wood grain paper. I'm using the wood grain paper. If you haven't seen my previous video, the live stream, I think it looks kind of like sand to me. The different striations and the patterns that create, the waters going back out to sea. And let's see, here's my little rock texture. And you see that rock texture, look how that looks in here. It just gives that sand area. it kind of anchors it in pattern a little bit more. Okay, let's get our bearings on where this is going to go, okay? Now, I don't know, you can make, I don't know, just make a mental note. It's going to be roughly up here. Now, I'm going to add this on the perimeter. You see I'm kind of tapping it in like that. It's darker when it's wet like this. And I kind of go in from the outside. Then I kind of hit it. You know, here and there within the piece. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid getting too close to those turtles. Okay. And we'll come up here. I want these to go underneath my wave area. So that's why I'm doing it first. I think I taped it in there, glued affixed the that seaside cove in first before I did this texturing, but I thought after that it's like, the texturing should have been first. That way, when I have this and I'm putting these rocks in here, it's not stamping it over kind of this angle there. I don't have to worry about this seaside cove being in the way of these rocks, okay, as I'm stamping it out. So being that they're already down there, I can just apply it right over the top of it like that. Let's get a little bit more right in here. See, sometimes I'm using just a really dry version of this. And what this does is it's kind of like putting the focus on our baby sea turtles too, or kind of their... Yeah, I say that they're the star of the scene, but I don't know, sometimes that holographic may be the star because it's just so dynamic. Not only is it holographic, but it's kind of like holographic glitter on this one. Okay, you don't have to use the holographic glitter either. You can use any of the different patterns. Okay, so the reeds here, okay, go a little bit higher, change the angle. Each impression you change it inward a little bit more like this. And see this right here? Now you get these blades kind of, you know, pointed in the direction of the turtles. Okay, so high. Now here we don't have too much room because I don't want to stamp over my turtles. So it's a little bit smaller of a cluster like this, and then this. Okay, so go high to low. Let's go with another one right over here. Just close this out a little bit more. You can even go another layer of it like that. So that looks like that seagrass on the beach. Okay, let's go ahead and apply this. Now this is vinyl sticker paper, printable vinyl sticker paper. So you just peel off like that. Okay. Not all holographic papers are printable sticker paper, and not all vinyl sticker papers are printable. So kind of be aware of kind of what you're using. Okay, now I have a little bit of hangover right here and over here, okay? But what I do after I get things situated and formatted in my cards like this, my card bases like this, a lot of times I'm off one way or another like this. So after I get it affixed in here, I take it to my paper trim and I just trim it off on the edges like that, okay? All right, now we have this piece right here, okay? Now I'm not going to do too much technique in the back there, okay? So one of the things that I found that that looked really nice at least, is just to apply my moon using that hole punch like that, okay? Now maybe I can go with something a little bit more interesting than copy paper like this. So maybe I'll go with this kind of a heavier paper. And I'm using a 1-inch hole punch like this. So let me go get a piece of white cardstock, or you know, I wonder if like a silver cardstock might be interesting, like a silver moon up here. It would be more reflective. I don't know. Let's do a little comparison. So let me go grab that. Actually, I see a piece of my scrap silver right here. Well, that was convenient. All right, so let's go like this. Hopefully this punches through this thick paper really well. Oh, no problem. Let's see, I don't know if there's going to be enough contrast with this up here. That looks pretty interesting. But maybe not. I think I could use this. Yeah, it's reflecting my paper down here, so I don't want that. That's kind of interesting, though. It seems like there's some cool application with this silver moon at some point in time. Maybe if it was up higher in the composition or something like that, maybe. Okay, so, oh, here, let me see. I've got to have some white cardstock around here somewhere. Here's my scrap bin right next to me. Let's go for a little bit of a kind of heavier stock right here. That copy paper looked a little bit kind of dull. Okay, so we have this. Now it's going to be missing a little bit of something without my cloud texturing in the background, which gave it kind of some visual interest. But again, we want to go with something fairly minimal. I'm going to put this right on the horizon. Do you see that right there? Where it's reflecting down in that lower area like that. Now see, when you go up high like this, you don't get the benefit of the reflection too much unless you really open this up. But see how weak that moon is? But you see this right here? The lower on the horizon, you even go kind of rising up from the horizon to do a half moon right on the horizon. That might be kind of interesting. Maybe I'll go right here. We'll go really low, okay? But let's put in a little bit of kind of another foundation down here. Okay, now you can leave this out if you want to, but I'm going to stamp out my Palm Island down here. I do like the Palm Island a lot with the baby sea turtles. I kind of think it makes it a little bit more tropical. And I'm going to do this in StazOn. That's just going to dry really fast, and I won't need to do anything like spray sealing up here. Stamp this a little bit lower on the horizon, okay? Don't have it kind of up here, otherwise it'll look like it's floating on the horizon. We want this to go down, you know, and disappear behind our Seaside Cove Small. Okay, like that. That almost kind of removed some of my foil. In fact, it did. It dried on there really fast. So, that being said, I mean, it looks pretty cool. It's a little bit more 3D that way. It has different lighting, so let's go like that. Here, let me see, like this. Something like this. Stamp out and lift. I kind of have to remember that sometimes when I'm doing StazOn. You got to stamp it fast, otherwise it dries on there really quickly. But see, it kind of left a little bit of a reverse impression like that in that one area. I mean, it's kind of cool, though. And let's get our bearings on how that looks right there. So look at that. See, this is something that's kind of interesting. This right here, there's light reflecting off of this because it's holographic, and it's reflecting back up in here, giving it that kind of that horizon glow. Then if you look at it like this, you get, you know, kind of overhead glow, in this case coming off of my lights. But look at that. Isn't that fun? And then we have our moon right here. Look at that. And you see that moon kind of rising on the horizon like that. Now this is pretty light and it's the lightest thing in the scene, so it'll create a lot of contrast. If it's too much contrast, you can always color this a little bit more too. You can color it with whatever you want. You can put a little bit of warmth to it, or a little bluish tinge if you want to. Whatever you want to. Okay, I'm just going to use some crafter's glue on here. I think this is the first time I've used this crafter's glue for something other than gluing stars up into my sky. Okay, let's go right about like here. Kind of move that around a little bit. Get it on the edge. Okay. And we have our moon. Look at that moon right up there. If I didn't have the baby sea turtles, I'd put like a little, someone in like a little boat there, so the moonlight would be kind of reflecting off of them like that. Okay, now let's do one more thing on here. One or two more things maybe. I was going to stamp out my, some kind of quote stamp up here and do it up top. I think one of these done in white. Let me pause this and I'm going to pick out one of my scenic sentiment. I think I just found it actually. Sea breeze. I think that would be a great one. Dream would be really awesome in this too. But I think sea breeze. Now, I really love this little simple composition. I'm kind of thinking maybe this, maybe that, because I want to add on, some extra bling to it or something like a, clear crystals, as stars. But let's just keep this really kind of fast and simple and easy to do. Okay, now this one right here, if you have like a white stays on, that would work, or you can emboss this quote, or not quote, but word stamp in here. So I might have to do a little bit of spray sealing here just to lock down, here's my brilliance, this ink on here. Okay. Now, you have to just go with an ink that's going to read over the top of this, darker blue foil. By the way, it doesn't have to be a blue foil, but blue foil kind of makes it a little bit more exciting because it's so light reflective. Okay. I just re-inked this, I think, so I gotta find the inked up portion on my pad. Okay. That seems to be fine. I'm just gonna eyeball this because if it's a little bit crooked or something like that, I can always wipe it off and stamp it again. Excuse my head being in the way. Now on this one, it's not stays on, so I'm going to press and hold down a little bit longer. Just gently. You don't press it and squeeze it really hard. Otherwise, you'll squeeze the ink out from under the stamp because it's still wet. Remember, this is a foil and it is very non-porous, so just gentle, pressure like that. Okay. It kind of makes for a little bit of a subtle impression in there. And one of the things I like is a little bit more texturing in here. So let's add a few little stars. That's why I stamped out my quote stamp first, or word stamp, so I can work around it. Kind of leave some space here and there, kind of cluster some of your stars together. I'll kind of put these up higher, and we'll have more of this lower section for, just our moon. Okay, now this is a white acrylic paint pen that works really well on here. Don't need to spray seal it. It adheres to it the paper just fine. You can even use it on things like glass if you want to. All right, so there we have that. We have these stars up there. Look at that. That's what makes the the foils pretty dynamic, is that the metallics, they look different in the light. Okay, now I use a spray adhesive. I just go out and spray the back of this, and spray the back of this, and I put one in at a time. doesn't matter which one you do. You have your card base folded, you have it at 90 degrees, and you slip this in like this and lay it down. I'll just go out and do it. Let me pause this. Okay. Okay, Super 77 multi-purpose adhesive. A lot of artists use it. Okay, so I have these two pieces lightly coated with spray on the back. You don't slather it. I mean, you could, but I don't know, I wouldn't do that. Okay, now, I almost forgot. On paper where you're using white like that, in this area in the right down here, take a black Sharpie pen and black this out, okay? It's because if you get that kind of that crease right there showing where, you don't match up your, two pieces perfectly, and we got to work fairly quickly here. That little black area in there won't show up like a white line would, okay? Again, I'm tapping this now. I got to be careful around that sea breeze because it's still a little wet. And I haven't used a fixative on it yet. Okay, let's see. I'll take this and move it right in here. Okay, so I'm at 90 degrees. And see this right here? You can just go right here, butt it up there as much as you can, and just lay this down like this. Tap down, get it right here in the corner, or in the crease as much as possible. All right, and then you have that. There's your card. And it's pretty cool, isn't it, as far as the construction goes? But like I said, what I'll do is I'll hit that with a little bit of a sealant, and then I'll take this. You can see where it, there might be, it didn't come out flush. You see that white line right there where this is sticking out. See, here's a little bit of white line right here too. But I just take this, and you can flatten it out, and then you can give this, a trim like this on the edges and make everything flush. One last thing here. We have those little white little highlights up the top there. And let's add in a few of those down below. And I'll do it with a little bit of a, like a splashing wave down here. Now we already have a lot of the white pastel pencil down here. Oh, this would be good to spray seal with the pastel pencil as well. But I have a few of these little dots down here, kind of, representing the crashing waves. It's hard to see because there's so much reflection. I can't even see it sitting right in front of this very much. But I just know that at a certain angle, let's see, like that. I don't know if you can see that right. Look at that moon reflecting in the water. But you can see kind of a little bit of white. It just stands out a little bit more like that. Let me see. Yeah, can you see those little splashes down there at certain angles? But look at that moon. Isn't that fun? So someone's going to open this up, and there's a little bit of movement to that moon like that on the horizon. That's really fun. So that blue foil, it's easy to find. It comes in a lot of different multicolored packs. This one's the one that came out of a holographic pack, but it's really similar to the Recollections primary pack, and that primary pack sold on Michaels or Michaels.com. You can sometimes buy one pack, get one free. So you get the Recollections multicolor pack, primary, and the jewel tone colors. Those are really fantastic colors. You can get, one of the multicolor packs, and then something like the holographic pack. It's really fun. It's not the holographic of this. It's, just more of your kind of basic style of holographic. Not this one, but this one's a sticker paper, vinyl sticker paper as well, but it looks like that, and that's really fun to use. So anyways, there you have it. There's your quick card version of this. We're under the 30-minute mark, and it doesn't take too long at all. I mean, there really wasn't like technique, like blending or anything like that had to be done. It was mostly just kind of more of a construction project. We did do a little bit of coloring, of course, with the pastel pencil, but that's really easy to do, and I don't even know where it went. You can use it just about anywhere you want to. Here I go. I can't find it. I might have wiped off some of this, when I was putting my hand down there, but you just kind of apply it down. It's really super easy and user friendly to use. I'm going to actually put some of it up on my horizon like this on the top of my Seaside Cove. Just a little bit of a line. I don't know if you can see that right there. See, like that? You can almost see it more like this at an angle, but I just colored a little bit in there just to, bring a little bit more highlighting right in that section right up there. I just kind of scribbled a little bit like that, but you can see it kind of glowing there on the horizon with that moonlight there. Okay, so I really had fun with this one. I think it's just so much fun to use. I accidentally got my little S up there. I'll try to restamp that. I put my hand up there when kind of glowing this down, I think. But anyways, a really easy one to do and just so much fun. And I think this is a pretty dynamic card. I think Horizon or reflection cards are just so dynamic, for someone to receive, to a recipient, to open this up and to see this type of thing like that. It's like a mini diorama, basically, or a mini pop-up card. I think it's more kind of diorama-esque in some ways, without having, the additional, borders on here. And it's just a way to bring kind of a three-dimensional aspect into a two-dimensional construction, which are usually a lot of our cards that we do. So this one looks very kind of three-dimensional and illusionistic in terms of space. And then when we're adding in this other aspect of reflections and kind of movement like that, and look at that foil back there. It's changing. It's like the changing light, that you would see over the course of like a night or something like that. And look at that glow coming off the horizon because of this area down here reflecting the light back up in there. It's just so much fun. Okay, so anyways, hope you enjoyed the video and lesson, and if you've stamped along with me, I hope you had a great time and learned some new little tricks. And if you have any questions, drop me a note in the comments section. Otherwise, hope to see you on the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and hope you hit the like and subscribe.